everybody. Welcome back to another Raw Read pop-up. Yes, we popping up every day. Harry is in the UK. We are. And let me tell you, today was a very, very interesting day, wasn't it? We're going to have to talk about it. And so, since we're going to talk about it, since we're going to chit-chat about it, we might as well get started because the huge, the enormous story of the day is Harry met with Chuck. Yes, he met with his dad. Now, I must say, I was a little surprised by this. I did not really think it was going to happen. I kind of suspected it might because everybody was so mum about it. And then when Charles flew in from Scotland, I said to myself, yeah, it's going to happen. And it was like a 55-minute meeting, and so everybody is very close-lipped about what went on and what was said. Now, I have saw a lot of the media from across the pond, and they seem to be very irritated by the fact that they don't know what went on in the meeting. I mean, can you imagine living your life in such a goldfish bowl? You can't even meet with your son. You can't meet with your father without these people just baying at the door like wolves wanting to know what was going on. But that's exactly what is happening. They are just losing their shit trying to get any little tidbit of what went on. Now, Harry went to an event after meeting with his father and was asked about his father. And his father, I think they asked him something like, how's your father? How's the king? And Harry said, he's great. And can you not believe that the toadies, that the derangers, that the ugly old hags, all of the smelly old skanks and I think I said the toads, didn't I? Minions. That's the one I'm looking for. They want to say Harry is talking already. Can you believe that? Trying to say Harry is, talking about Charles already. And all Harry said was, he's great. I mean, these people are just out of their minds. And I really, really feel sorry for Harry to have to live in such an environment that you can't even say your father is great without article after article. Now, I hadn't saw any articles, but we all know they will be written. And that is just crazy to me. I'm telling you, I got into some back and forth with some of these older rangers about saying that just because Harry said Charles was great, that he is not leaking. I mean, yeah, I was on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I was absolutely in a hand-to-hand combat with some of these folks, coming up with this stupid idea that when you say your father is great after being asked about him, is somehow leaking the contents of a meeting that you just had with him. These people, I cannot. But like I said, let's get started. I'm going to put this up. People Magazine wrote about it. Now, this whole article, I went through it, and it's not much information in it because there's not much information out there. Nobody's talking, but we all know, as squatties, we all know if anything gets leaked, if anything gets planted, it is going to be coming from Buckingham Palace, from Clarence House. It's not going to be coming from Montecito. Because what does Byron say? Is no leaks in Montecito. And Harry and Meghan haven't spoken on those people. Now, Harry did that interview with BBC when he lost that security case. But Meghan has spoken on those folks since Oprah. And they still try to accuse her of talking about that family. Stop. But I digress. So, like I said, if any leaks are to be had, we know where they're coming from because y'all remember when the two teams met, the one from Buckingham Palace and the one from Montecito. We all know who leaked that, who leaked the fact that they were meeting. We also know who planned that if they sit out on the balcony, they would get photographed. So that's why I say we already know the game. So if anything comes out of this meeting, I hope that they're not trying to set Harry up. I don't trust them. I don't. And I think Harry is very wise to what's going on here. But I guess Harry looks at it like this. I don't know now. This is coming out of my belief. But Harry says at least they can't say I did try. If something happens to Charles, at least they can say that Harry always wanted to reconcile and to make an effort to reconcile. So that's my thoughts. But let's get into it. The name of the article is Prince Harry says King Charles is great following their long awaited reunion. That's all Harry said. And it says the Duke of Sussex stepped out in London after seeing his father for an event related to Invictus Games. And we're going to talk about that a little later on. And like I said, this article was nothing but padding because they didn't have anything to put in it, because they didn't know anything. But it did say this. On September 10th, Prince Harry and King Charles met at Clarence House for a private tea. Now, that right there makes me a little nervous because we know in England, in the UK, tea means dinner. And y'all know what I have said time and time and time again. I did not want Harry eating those people's food. Now, I don't know if he ate the food or not, but woo, I'm going to be nervous until he gets back to Montecito. And then it says, marking the first time seeing each other in person since February 2024. Harry spent about 55 minutes inside the King's London residence. And that, like I said, that is the meat of the article. They went back and pulled stuff up from Invictus, pulled up stuff from years back, just pulled up a whole lot of stuff to try to pad out this article because, like I said, they don't know anything. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is a post this squatty posted about the media and how irritated they are about the fact that they are not getting to know what went on in the meeting. Like they have a right to know. It is crazy to me. And this squatty is talking about Chris Ship. How does Byron say his name? I think Byron be saying that ship with a P and not a T. Yes, I'm gonna spell it with a T though because I'm messy. But this squatty said, ITV News, Chris Ship said that he was waiting in the rain all day for Prince Harry's car to come into Clarence House, but seemed bothered that the media hasn't been told what Harry and King Charles discussed. Yeah, just like it's owed to them. I'm talking about he was waiting in the rain all day. I don't think anybody forced you to wait in the rain all day. That's your job, bud. That's your job. And then the squatty said, so much for wanting them to be private. Now what? Yes, they was like, they should do it privately. They should do it privately. Now they want to know what was said. And like I say, if anything leaks out, we know exactly where it's coming from. Where it came from last time. And that'll be straight out of Clarence House and Buckingham Palace. And I believe something will be leaked. I really do. The wolves are so hungry. They have been getting fed this week and they are getting used to being fed and they want more and more and more. So I believe Charles is going to have to throw them a bone. I really, really do. I hope Harry and Charles agreed on what to throw to them. You know what I'm saying? Outsmart them. Just give them anything to chew on and it not actually be what they talked about. Because these people, I mean, they are something to deal with. Irritated because they don't know what was said in a private conversation. I can't. I just can't. All right, I'm gonna put this one up, and this same squatty posted about what the BBC was saying. It says BBC News on Prince Harry visiting Bad Dad King Charles and attending an Invictus Games event afterwards. Since Prince Harry is not revealing anything about it, let's see if the palace source, King Charles, exactly will provide no information to. See what the royal rotor then reports on it afterwards. See if they say they have no details. I believe they're going to have to give them something. Just buckle up because something will be given to the hungry wolves. Because if you saw Chris Ship, that's with that's with a P and not a T, as Byron would say, his face on ITV, I'm telling you, the wolves have to be fed. So, like I said, I hope Harry and Charles work that out prior, something to throw to them to appease them because they are hungry. And when a wolf gets, used to being fed, it's hard to keep them at bay. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to share some of the responses to Harry, meeting with his father, some of the responses from the squatties. And first up is this squatty, and they said, I hope Prince Harry finds peace with knowing he has moved mountains to find peace with his father and let God's will be done. And this squatty said this, waking up to the news that meeting, Harry always loved Bad Dad, despite the fact he didn't deserve it. I trust him and Meghan to make the best decision for their family. I trust that they are aware that they're dealing with serpents and will watch their back, outward and onward. Onward and upward. And these two opinions are generally what the squatties are saying about this meeting, but it is some disagreement among some squatties, about Harry meeting with Chuck Rex. It is some squatties feeling some kind of way. And they feel that the meeting should have never happened, that Harry should not have met with his father. And I want y'all's opinion. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is, but I want y'all's opinion. And I'm going to put this up. And this is an example of some of the conversations that are going on these internet streets between squatties that are disagreeing. Now, the first squatty says this, laugh out loud. Some squatties are seriously celebrating watching Harry meeting someone who called Meghan names. On Harry's face, seriously, I'm laughing at you. This is just William Parker Bowles and Charles Power game, and Harry is allowing this. His choice, but I ain't happy. What y'all think about that? This particular squatty feels like this is all a ploy, a setup, pray say. Y'all tell me what y'all think. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you what I think. But yeah, this is a conversation that is being had. And another squatty came up under that post and said this, it's his life and his choice. Unlike the Rangers who think they own Harry, our support is not conditional on Harry's life choices being only what we approve. He and Meghan are very thoughtful people, and I have no doubt they approached this decision thoughtfully too. What y'all think about what that squatty said? You know, it is being debated on these internet streets between squatties. It really is. And this thread goes on and on. They kind of go back and forth. A lot of other squatties jump in, have their opinion, but basically, the two opinions are in line with these two posts. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think. Now, as for me, I kind of fall somewhere in the middle of these two squatties, meaning that I agree with the first one in some of her points and the second one as well. The first squatty, I agree. Harry needs to be very, very careful. These people are not to be trusted. They're not. They have done so much. And to open your heart to someone who has been as treacherous as these two people, well, these people have been, I say two people because I'm referring to Charles and William. But yes, just to open up and just open your arms up to embrace them, yeah, I would be a little careful on that. But who am I to say that is what Harry's doing? Because, like I said earlier, we don't know what went on in this meeting. We have not a clue. But I would advise Harry, if I had the opportunity to always understand. I have said it time and time again. A snake is always going to be a snake. Now, can you maneuver in the presence of a snake and it not bite you? Of course. I have worked with plenty of snakes. I always say that I can work with a snake. I can work with snakes as long as they don't bite me. And so Harry can have a relationship with these people as long as they don't bite him. But he must be careful about it. He absolutely do. And not forget all that has been said and all that has been done, and know the nature of the beast. And the nature of a snake is being a snake. Now, as for the second squatty, I agree with her as well. I think, we should support Harry and Meghan in their decisions, because at the end of the day, it's their lives. And we should not have conditions on our support, because it is their lives. I mean, this is not some kind of game. This is not some kind of soap opera. This is their real lives. And they have full agency over their own lives. Like this particular squatty said, it's his life, his choice. They do. And so I think, like I said, I fall in between. I'm not a Reagan fan at all, but President Reagan used to say something that I use all the time. He used to have a quote, and I use it all the time. And the quote is, trust but verify. Yes, you trust them, but you always looking and checking to see that they're not screwing you over, that they're not shanking you, that you don't have a knife in your bag. Yes. So my only advice to Harry would be, use that quote from President Reagan. Take it to heart. Incorporate it as a part of your life. Because when you're dealing with a bunch of snakes, you have to trust. You can trust, but boy, you also need to verify. I'm just saying. And it looks like Willie is out here crying his salty tears. He's finally got a cup full and he has hauled them over there to his favorite toady, Tom Sykes, who has just been giddy about the fact that Harry is in the UK. I am surprised that he is still going to Tom Sykes because Tom is walking the streets of London trying to find Harry with hearts in his eyes. Yes, he has heart eyes for Harry. So I'm a little surprised by that. But it seems that, old habits are hard to break. So he did go over to Tom Sykes with his cup of tears and told Tom Sykes how much he hated his brother again and how he is losing his SHIT now that his father is talking to his brother again. Willie is really feeling some kind of way because he is the odd man out right now. And we all know he doesn't manage very well when he is not in the loop. Let's think back to when Harry went on that BBC show. Well, when he did that BBC interview, and he did not even bring Willie up. The only person that he brought up that he wanted to seek reconciliation with was Charles. And Willie went on a rampage, planning stories, talking about how he hated his brother, how he never was going to forgive him, that he didn't want to see him, all of that, and was never mentioned in the interview. So that let me know right there. He cannot handle being the odd man out. And so sit back, y'all, because it is really going to be a show. Now, I'm thinking he's going to respond one of two ways. He is either going to try to make up with Harry as well so he can get back in the loop, or he is going to go completely ballistic. He is going to embarrass himself on a epic level. Him and Kitty Cat are absolutely going to flip out. And the reason I say that is this article. Now, this particular squatty posted some excerpts of this article, and we're going to talk about it and how he is already starting to flip the F out. So let's talk about it. I'm going to put this up. And this is the article that Tom Sykes wrote. It says Charles meets Harry and stirs up trouble with William. It says Charles is now at direct loggerheads with his son and heir, William, over the treatment of Harry. And this is by Tom Thumbhead Sykes with the hearts in his eyes for Harry. And it says he sees reconciliation with his brother in much the same light as he sees the rehabilitation of Prince Andrew. And you see how low down and dirty he is, trying to connect Harry to Andrew. Harry hasn't done anything close to what Andrew is accused of. But yet and still, here he is playing dirty. And it goes on. A very bad idea. He was a critic of the king's decision to allow Andrew back into the fold and believed he was vindicated by Andrew Lawney's recent expose of Andrew. Well, we all know that that book is full of lies. Now, I don't know what is in that book, but I know they told a lie. This man told a lie on Harry, saying Harry attacked Andrew. And a person who will tell one lie will tell many. So, what is he using that as a reference for? I digress. And it says he holds the same hard line towards Harry. Once you're out, you're out. That set up an extraordinary new dynamic inside of the monarchy. the king willing to forgive, his heir unwilling to forget. And I'm going to go to the next excerpt, and it says William has made it abundantly clear that he doesn't want to see Harry. He doesn't want to hear from Harry. He doesn't want anyone else in the family to engage with him either. Isn't that something? He don't want anybody else in the family to engage with Harry. I mean, what a bitter, bitter man. That is the reason why he is walking around looking like warmed over death. And his wife looks like a Halloween skeleton with skin over it. But yet and still, Harry is the problem. And it goes on to say, for Charles to ignore that stance and to do it so publicly is a major surprise. Charles, to me, is making a stand here. And the stand is that he will not be bullied by Willie. Because we all know Willie has bullied Charles for years and years and years. And I guess Charles says, I got to try to save my kingdomship. And Harry is the only lifeline that I got, because you need to worry about your kingdomship, because when it comes in, when I clock out of here, punch my ticket, get on the train to glory, it's going to be up to you, and you ain't got much going for you. But I want to try to at least salvage something of my kingdomship. And we all know this is them using Harry. He is using Harry to try to salvage his kingdomship, because it is circling the drain. It really is. And everything that they have done, everything that they have thrown at Harry has absolutely just came off, just sloughed right on off. Harry is truly Teflon. And now they know that. And Charles is older and wiser than Willie. Charles sees the writing on the wall here, meaning that if you can't beat him, might as well join him. But Willie will see the ship absolutely sink before he does anything when it comes to his brother. That's just my opinion. But he goes on to say, it says, also reveals an emerging split at the heart of the palace. As I reported in the Daily Beast yesterday, there is a more conciliatory fracture forming in Charles's household, spearheaded by Theo Rycraft, the incoming deputy private secretary, a former diplomat in Paris, who insiders say provides the counterweight to the hawkish Clive Alderton, aka the Wasp, whose relationship with Harry is one of mutual loathing. Mm, mm. And it says Rycraft's arrival is seen as softening the king's tone. You know what is so strange to me? That these courtiers have so much power over the monarch, or over their principals. I mean, you don't have the ability to think for yourself. I mean, it's unreal to me that you actually have people in place to tell you what to think, what to do, how to feel. I mean, it appears to me like that. Now, I'm American, and so this is me on the outside looking in. UK squatties, UK readers, help me out. Am I seeing this correctly? Because it looks like the monarch is a puppet. It is, I mean, what is this? To me, it's like you're telling us that the monarch is a puppet. I'm just saying. And the squatty that posted this said this: place your bets. It's King Charles III versus Little Willie. And have boxing gloves up there. I'm telling you, we are messy. Squatties are messy. But this is true. This is true. And like I said, it's either going to go two ways. He either is going to follow suit, like he did when Charles posted about Harry's 40th birthday. You know, Willie followed suit and posted about Harry's birthday. So either he's going to follow suit, fall in line, because he cannot stand to be outside of the circle. He cannot. Or he is going to lose his mind and it's going to be a show. Get your popcorn because it is going to be a show. Now, Tom Thumbhead Sykes is saying it's going to be a show. But I say it can go either way. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to put this up, and this particular squatty is saying this is probably the reason why Charles is interested in reconciliation. Because karma is coming big time for Charles. Yes, karma has her red bottom Jimmy Choo stilettos dead up his butt. She does. And he knows it. And he has to do something about it. And this particular squatty said this: Charles will never know peace for the way he treated his youngest son in favor of his mission goal of Camilla becoming accepted, then queen. Karma won't allow it. Exactly. That stiletto is firmly planted up his butt. Karma is coming for him and he is trying to turn it around because he has not had peace since he put that crown of stolen jewels on the top of his head and put one on his mistress's head as well, his horse. They hadn't had any peace, no happiness, none of that. And so I think he may be trying to do a course correction. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I agree with this. And then this squatty goes on to talk about how Harry was easy on Charles and spare. And how he did Harry when he was a little boy. Right after Diana died, Harry begged to stay at home and not go back to school. And Charles pushed him off and did not see him but twice in 9 months. A child who lost his mother, and he was the only parent, and he saw him twice in 9 months. That's what Harry had to deal with, and this is what this particular squatty was talking about. Yeah, karma has him in a chokehold, and he's trying to get out. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to put this up and look what happened. It says Prince Harry's Archwell Foundation donated £500,000 to projects supporting injured children from Ukraine and Gaza. Yes, Harry is just out here doing good, him and Meghan, and I just love it. This was in Hello, and the title of the article is Prince Harry's Foundation donates $500,000 to helping children in Gaza and Ukraine. Yes, still working, still doing good, still out here looking good and smelling good. Doing it all at the same time. Yes, I love this. And also, I love that Harry is showing everybody that he's not broke. They have been lying on him and his wife. They are doing very, very well. Harry passing out the dollars to do good, to help people, but also saying, broke who? Broke where? Broke when? And I just love it. And also, I'm going to put this up. Day 3 brought this. It says Prince Harry, Day 3, visit the Center of Blast Injury Studies at Imperial College, London. He's not defined by your opinions, lies, smears, rules, control, thirst, or likes. Harry is here to put in the work and use his voice for good. Where is the lie? Where is it? I'm looking for it. I'm looking under my desk right now. I don't see none. No lies detected. Harry is out here doing good and catching up with his friend as well. He has been friends with this man. Right here, you see him with the artificial limbs. As you can see, 12 years ago, Harry opened the center. And there he is doing just that. They have been friends ever since. He has participated in the Invictus Games. Yes, I mean, just everything. Just everything. And I'm going to put this up. This is Harry today. And it says, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, watches as former Invictus Game competitor Steve Arnold walks on the treadmill in his prosthetic at the Center of Blast Injury Studies at Imperial College, London. Look at this picture. This is an amazing picture. These men, amazing. These prosthetics, amazing. This is such important work. It's just amazing to me. I'm just saying. Harry had this amazing, amazing day. He did. And I'm going to put this up. And this is from Invictus. And I must say, it kind of gave me a pause. And y'all tell me what y'all think. Am I overreacting here? But it kind of gave me a pause. And it says Invictus Games Foundation at Invictus Horizons, we officially welcome Rob Owens, OBE. OBE. Anytime I see those names, anytime I see those letters behind someone's name, I kind of feel some kind of way because of Cinnabale and what has gone on at Cinnabale. Can you trust anybody with an OBE behind their name? Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm feeling some kind of way about this. Mr. Rob Owens, and he is the new CEO. I hope Harry has Invictus tightly in his grip and not giving over the reins to some people who are going to shank him. But it says the new CEO of Invictus Games Foundation, and he laid out his vision for the future of the Invictus movement. Now, y'all know Harry's longtime friend and the person he started Invictus Game with, who was the CEO, left. He left after the last Invictus Games, and now this is the new man coming in. Can we trust him, y'all? He has OBE behind his name. And it says, we are growing and we are going to help millions across the globe over the next 10 years. Hashtag I am here. Y'all, I'm feeling some kind of way. Y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And if you've been with me for a while, you recognize this. I used to put up the clowns every podcast. I used to bring in the clowns. Yes, yes, yes. And I had a reader not long ago said, bring back the clowns. Well, in this occasion, I think I really need to bring in the clowns. And so I decided to dig the clowns out and have a conversation about each and every one of them. And y'all know the two clowns are Charles and Willie. And first up is Charles, of course. Yes, Charles is a clown. Always have been, always will be. He is a man who absolutely sacrificed his whole family for a bed hopper. a bed hopper. And not did he only sacrifice his whole family for a bed hopper, he put that bed hopper on the throne. And how did he do it? How did he manage to put his bed hopper on the throne? He used his children. And mostly he used Harry, the only one who really, really has loved him. Harry loves his dad. He does. Good, bad, or indifferent, he loves him. And he has done nothing but sacrifice everything for a bed hopper and use Harry as a way to clear the way for her to sit on the throne. He's a clown. He is a clown. And now that karma has come and kissed him in the mouth, here he is trying to get Harry, use Harry again to save him. I'm just saying, this man right here is a bozo. He really is. And Harry needs to be very, very careful. Next up is Willie. Yes, Willie is a clown. He has been running around for the past 3 days trying to compete with his brother, trying to compete with someone who is not competing with him. What a clown. What a dunce. And he has still been unable to compete. Can you understand how big of a loser and a bozo you have to be the only one in the fight and still lose the fight? Yeah, that's Willie. And he is fighting his brother. We just heard this whole thing coming out of Tom Thumbhead's site, saying he doesn't want to have anything to do with Harry, like Harry has done something to him. Yes, this clown really feels like he is somehow the victim when he knows he has been nothing but the villain. He has a brother who loves him. He has a brother who would stand with him. He has a brother who would do anything to see him successful. And what does he do? He does everything he can to destroy his brother. A clown, a clown. He walks around and really thinks that what he's doing to his brother is somehow justified. I can't. I can't. He is such a bozo. He is such a bozo. He is such a clown. The only person who loves him for who he is, who loves him unconditionally, he has declared war on him. This is how big of a clown this person is. I'm telling you, these two clowns, they are unprecedented in their clownishness. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. That is my renditions of Bring in the Clown. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up too. I used to put this up in every podcast, at the end of every podcast as well, because I used to talk about, here in the South, if we go to someone's house and we feel like, something is just a little off, or suddenly someone who has been a mortal enemy becomes someone who is trying to be your friend and invite you over to their home. And it is just hammered in us as children on up that you don't eat at those people's houses. You don't eat at people's houses who have done you wrong in the past. You don't eat everybody's food. And as you can see in the cartoon, Harry is sitting down to this beautiful birthday cake, but Charles, Cammy, Willie, and Kitty has knives behind their backs. Yes, you don't eat everybody's food. Now, Harry went over there for tea. And like I said, tea in the UK is dinner. I'm hoping Harry didn't eat those folks' food. I'm just saying. You don't eat someone's food when they have been your enemy. I'm going to pray for Harry. But yeah, Harry, don't eat their food because they might have knives behind their back. They might want to shank you. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.